Home of the National Wrestling Alliance, featuring champions from throughout the continental United States. And now to your host, world-renowned wrestling commentator, Gordon Soley.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, and welcome once again to Continental Championship Wrestling. 1 hour of solid wrestling action, no question about that. Well, the 1987 season is upon us, and some changes have been wrought by Continental Championship Wrestling and its board of directors. These are very important changes, and I would like to bring them to your attention at this particular time. First of all, from now on, any referee that is deliberately struck by a wrestler, that wrestler will be fined $5,000. Secondly, any wrestler who steals a belt that he has not won, but takes it as a result of a match and then takes the belt arbitrarily, will be suspended for 30 days. And I might point out that Mr. Chris Von Colt, who recently literally stole the Alabama State Heavyweight Championship belt, has been fined $14,000. And I'm very proud to announce that we now have the belt back in our possession. And at this time, I would like to call out the rightful owner of the belt, the gentleman who is going to receive it back. If I may, would like to have Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Here he is, the rightful owner of the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. My friend, take it, wear it in good health.
Well, I want to say it's home right now, you know, and I want to thank the officials and you, Mr. Soley, for returning my Alabama belt. But I want to tell you, thank Chris Von Colt. Just because I got it back don't mean I'm through with you, son. We're going to the end of this road one way or another.
Fair enough. All right, let me very quickly run down some of the matches that we're going to be seeing during this hour. We are going to see a Southeastern Championship match. The Hustler Rip Rogers against the exotic Adrian Street. We're going to see a former Florida State amateur wrestling champion, Larry Hamilton, in action. Also, the Continental Tag Team Championship on the line. The Nightmares in that one. And a special challenge steel cage match. The Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller against the New Guinea Headhunters. All of this and a lot more upcoming here on Continental Championship Wrestling. And now, let's move into our first match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this special television event will be one fall with a 30-minute time limit. It is for the Southeastern Heavyweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, now in the ring from Los Angeles, California, 233 pounds, he is the Southeastern Heavyweight Champion, Hustler Rip Rogers.
What I could do to you.
I can hear a telephone directory and two. Sending iron balls is something else that I can do. I always put my sister with the nearest village view.
So imagine what I could do to you.
To see my many attributes won't need a second glance. You know if you resist it, you just wouldn't stand a chance. I can knock the hole right through a solid concrete wall.
And ladies and gentlemen, 222 pounds from the Royal Forest of Dean, exotic Adrian.
The hustler, Rip Rogers, wasting no time as he attacked the exotic Adrian Street as he came into the ring. Street firing back now with everything that he's got. And the hustler, Rip Rogers, leaves the ring area. And exotic Adrian Street right behind him. Hustler, Rip Rogers, goes back into the ring. And it's very quickly that the exotic one, Adrian Street, lays out some more punishment. The exotic Adrian Street, everything on the line in this match. Good forearm smash across the chest. Rear chin lock, and now notice the way he's bringing the leg up and over. Notice it is not a choke, however. The referee down there checking it very carefully. But he's got a lot of pressure on that carotid artery. Now, Rip Rogers turns that around, but the exotic Adrian Street catches him back. Catches him once again. Drives the knee into the midsection. The exotic Adrian Street keeping a side headlock. Good chain reaction here. Also, Rip Rogers back to the canvas. And the exotic Adrian Street lateral press. Hustler Rip Rogers powers away from it once again. Rolls outside the ring. He's trying to break the momentum of the exotic Adrian Street. But Street is wasting no time on this one. Back into the ring. Big change and hard right hands. Rip Rogers tied up on those ropes. Rogers tied up in the ropes. And that gives the exotic... The exotic one catches him a good shoulder to the midsection. Once again, Rip Rogers leaving the ring. And once again, the exotic one catch... Rogers was a step ahead that time. Street is down and could be in a lot of trouble here. This one for the Southeastern Heavyweight Championship. All the marbles on this one. And now Rogers in behind his man. Atomic knee drop. Remember, they're outside on the concrete. And Street smashed onto the timekeeper's table. Street rolling back toward the ring, and it's Hustler Rip Rogers right after him. Flat of the foot to the back of the head, a flat of the foot to the body once again. Street in trouble as Hustler Rip Rogers in the pink trunk. Seems to have it going his way. All right, Street flips away from it. Any of you who might be watching this man for the first time in action, don't be fooled by the hair and the fancy garments. This man is double tough and a yard wide. Reversal by Street. Sonic knee drop on Hustler Rip Rogers. Hustler back into the ring. The Hustler wanting a timeout. No timeouts here, my friend. You might get that in football or basketball or baseball, but you don't get it in wrestling. Rogers going for the eyes of the exotic one. The Irish whip comes off the rope. Leapfrog, and he gets him in a sleeper hold. He's got the sleeper hold on Hustler Rip Rogers. The exotic, the referee. Caught and outside the ring. Meanwhile, the exotic one has that sleeper hold, and Hustler Rip Rogers is going down.
The exotic, wait a minute, hey. Miss Brenda. And sprayed something into the eyes of the exotic Adrian Street. Oh! He just caught him. He caught him with that bag. He caught him with that purse. He's got Hustler Rip Rogers over the fallen form of the exotic Adrian Street. He's trying to get the referee back into the ring, trying to get that ref. Hold on. Miss Linda Miss Linda's on the, and she just caught Miss Brenda. And she just, what a rabbit punch that was. What a rabbit punch. And Miss Linda, putting that referee back in there. Hey, we've got a brand new champion. The exotic one has just turned back. The Southeastern champion, and Miss Linda came out of nowhere. And so, there's the new champion. The exotic Adrian Street is indeed the new champion. And he is exuberant in his joy. Let's go to our ring announcer for the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the time of 6 minutes, 22 seconds, your winner and new Southeastern heavyweight champion, Adrian Street.
Friday night, January 30th at the Lavender Coliseum. Match time is 8:30. In a special handicap tag team match, 2 men against 3, the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller face the New Guinea Headhunters and the Mystic Kevin Sullivan. In a Continental title match, the Mystic Kevin Sullivan faces the Bullet. Southeastern title, both valets return. The exotic Adrian Street against the Hustler Rip Rogers. Continental tag titles, the Nightmares against Jerry Stubbs and the Dirty White Boy. There will be 2 other matches January 30th. Right now, but I'll tell you what, before I talk to them, let's see if we can get a word from the defeated former champion. Let's go to the ring if we can. Well, apparently he is still not in any position to... There we see him. He's still not in any position to talk. Let's talk now to the new champion, the exotic Adrian Street.
I feel just like Cinderella. In actual fact, this is very much like a fairy story. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, there came a horrible frog. And then a princess. The beautiful princess came and knocked the lights out. Wasn't that wonderful? And what did I tell you? Now you've got a champion. Now the Fleabag. Now the ex-champion, somebody none of us ever recognized anyway, is without this. The pink belt, the people's belt.
All right, let's go to the ring and see if we can get a comment from... Hustler Rip Rogers, and to see what his comments are.
Somebody hit me! Where's my belt? Where's my belt? I'm the champion! Street, you bring my belt back! What's she doing here? Somebody hit me! Somebody did something to her! Street, you got my belt, not get it back! Because I'm the Southeastern heavyweight champion!
But there'll be matches upcoming, there's no question about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the television event will be one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from parts unknown, 221 pounds, Dr. X. His opponent from Tampa, Florida, 228 pounds, Larry Hamilton.
There's the bell, and it's Larry Hamilton in the black trunks moving out against Dr. X. One fall, 15-minute time. Beautiful fireman carry takedown by Hamilton. Hamilton, originally from Jacksonville, Florida, attended the University of Tampa in Tampa, Florida, and was a member of the Spartan wrestling team. Went on to win the Florida Heavyweight Championship. Beautiful forward fireman carry that time, and into an inside armbar. Hamilton, an exponent of the scientific methods of wrestling. He has carried this well into his professional career. Back into the ring ropes, and Dr. X fires him off the ropes, and it's Hamilton. Beautiful high hip toss that time, Hamilton. Underneath this man once again. A wing over takedown. Hamilton has bulked up since the last time I saw him compete. He's right at the 230-pound marker. The last time I saw him, he was around 217 to 218. And I was talking to him before the program got underway. He said he has picked up a lot more strength that way. Dr. X now. Throwing some left hands that did not seem to be terribly effective. And Hamilton explodes back on him. Hamilton quickly closes in, and now Hamilton is all right, my friend. If you want to go to Fifth City, let's go. And he uncorks one that has Dr. X in a world of trouble. Irish whip off the ropes, brings him up. Nice move by Hamilton. Beautiful belly-to-back suplex, belly-to-belly suplex. That's the one that put Chris Taylor away. And look at this. Three-quarter Nelson, leg grapevine. Well, partial leg grapevine. Fine move by Larry Hamilton. Using that belly-to-belly suplex. And then as his man tried to regain his feet, could have done one of two things. Could have caught him in an Oklahoma side roll, but chose instead the three-quarter Nelson and the partial leg grapevine. That put Mr. Hamilton in the victory position. For the official word, here's our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the time of 1 minute, 57 seconds, your winner, Thunderbolt Larry Hamilton.
Well, if we may, perhaps we can get you a quick replay as showing that three-quarter Nelson and the partial leg grapevine. An excellent move. It's a great amateur move, and it brought Larry Hamilton the Florida State Amateur Heavyweight Championship. And I'll tell you what, he's a man that is going to have to be reckoned with here on Continental Championship Wrestling, no question about that. Well, we received a most interesting recorded interview, a videotaped interview from Kevin Sullivan while he was in Hawaii. And I think it certainly is well worth watching and bears listening to. Let's go to Hawaii now and Kevin Sullivan.
You're seeing, you're going right from the sea to right to the top of Diamond Head. You see, Ronald Fuller, this is Honolulu, Hawaii. And 45 years ago this month, World War II started. You see, Ronald Fuller, you have a flock of family that you hide behind, whether it's your goofy brother, Robert, with a cast on his hand. And first of all, I'm starting to believe the cast is on the wrong hand. He's using this as a weapon. And he's got his other cousin, Jimmy Golden, blinded and laying there in the land of the king, who is blind. He thinks he's a big shot, but he's out of the picture now. You see, and then he has another family called the Armstrong family. And they come to his running aid every time something goes wrong. Well, I have a family, and the people know they've seen the Maoris, and they've seen me bring in the Headhunters, and they've seen Chris Von Colt, and they've seen it all. Well, this is the Purple Haze, and he lives on top of Diamond Head. He dwells on top of Diamond Head where the fire god Pele dwells. You see, Mystery is his middle name. And if you look at top of Diamond Head, you can understand why he got the name the Purple Haze. You see, he was conjured from the ocean depths by me. So now, Ronald, the armies are on the march. They're all marching from the four corners of the earth. They're coming, Ronald Fuller. And they're all coming. They're coming from the desert, whether it's the Sheik. They're coming from Germany, whether it's Chris Von Colt. They've paddled all the way from New Guinea, whether it's the Headhunters, or they're from the top of Diamond Head, whether it's the Purple Haze. They've come from all four corners of the earth. You see, Ronald Fuller, and we're meeting in Tennessee. We're meeting in Alabama. The lines are clearly drawn. This time it's Southern boys against the world. This time the People's Army, the Fuller's Army, are on the march. This time the Army of Darkness is about to win, because it's the children of the day against the men of the night. And the men of the night now are about ready to close the light in the end of the tunnel. Ronald Fuller, I drew first blood, and I'm going to draw last blood. I've told you before, to be a king, you have to kill a king.
Got some interesting matches coming up in this viewing area. First of all, on January 13th, championship wrestling will be coming to Gordo, Alabama, and that'll be at the high school gymnasium. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Guinea, Alabama, and that'll be at the Marion County High School on Tuesday, January 20th. And then, of course, on Friday night, Columbus, Mississippi, January 30th. That's January 30th. Now, in Gordo, Alabama, there will be a big $10,000 battle royal, and you'll be seeing Larry Hamilton, who's the former Florida State amateur wrestling champion.
Yeah, Mr. Soley, it's a pleasure being back. Mr. Pridgett, it's going to be a pleasure wrestling you there in that town. And maybe a little treat, even better, if I get a chance to wrestle you for that United States Junior Heavyweight title.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It'll be a pleasure till you step through those ropes, wherever it may be, Larry Hamilton. I promise you.
Well, I'll tell you what, rest assured you'll be seeing these men in Gordo and in Guin, and of course the Bullet will be there.
Boy, am I looking forward to this. $10,000 in Gordo, Alabama at the high school there. January 13th, that's usually a bad luck day, but on that night, I hope it's good luck for the Bullet. And then Guin, Alabama, I hope that I run into the Flame or that Mystic Kevin Sullivan. It's going to be a bad day for them, too, because a lot of action, a lot of top-notch competition, and, brother, when it starts, it ain't over till it's over, as a good friend of mine once said, and it will be over when I get that 10 grand.
Let's listen to these comments.
Gordo and Ewing. You know, sounds like a Chinese meal. You know, I took the Headhunters in the other day. We were in Columbus, Mississippi, and I said to the big hunter, Tio, what do you want? And he said to me, Fa Fooey, Gordo and Ewing. Gordo and Ewing? What kind of names are these? You know what I'm saying? Are these names that these Southerners think up when they're walking down the street kicking cans? Well, I'm going to come to both those towns, and I'm going to kick cans, take names, and I'm going to take a lot of money in that battle royal. And Gordo and Ewing?
Ladies and gentlemen, this television event is one fall with television time remaining. It is for the Continental Tag Team Championship. Challengers, Bucksnort, Tennessee, 233 pounds, the Dirty White Boy. His partner, Pensacola, Florida, 244 pounds. He calls himself Mr. Perfect, Jerry Stubbs.
Hello again. Hello again.
No chance for introductions here as the Nightmares defending the Continental Tag Team Championship against the challenge of the Dirty White Boy and Mr. Chrome Dome's Jerry Stubbs. And this battle is being waged outside the ring right now. The Dirty White Boy and Jerry Stubbs, I guess, figuring that a quick offensive maneuver might give them a decided advantage, and it appears to be doing just exactly that right now. Stubbs and one of the Nightmares in the ring, and it's Stubbs catching him with the back of the elbow. Moving very effectively. So Stubbs and the Dirty White Boy out to take those Continental Tag Team Championships. High backdrop. Nightmare in trouble as both teams now have singled off. Once again, the tag is made. Dirty White Boy tagging with Jerry Stubbs. Quickly double teaming on the Nightmare before the count, however, before the 4 count is completed. A ripping right hand that staggers him, and a quick shot from the Dirty White Boy. And the Nightmare in trouble. The Nightmare fires to the midsection of Stubbs. Stubbs comes right back, however. High backdrop by Jerry Stubbs on the Nightmare. He's down and in trouble. Stubbs has had a bit of a hamstring problem. And the crowd starting to clap in unison for the Nightmares, and they are solidly on the Nightmare side. And now the Nightmares begin to retaliate. But the Dirty White Boy is equal to the task. And he puts a beautiful move by the Nightmare. Coming off the ropes. He may have him here, rolling reverse. This battle, no, sir. He's able to fire him away. Referee is Roy George. Fine young official. Overhook. Setting him up. High vertical suplex. And this may be all she wrote as he gets in with a lateral press. 1, 2. No, sir. Powered out. And so the Nightmare is proving that they, too, can be effective with some double teaming. And that's exactly what they've done. Hard right hand that staggers him, and Jerry Stubbs tags up. Rough there. Did he catch him coming in with a spin-over takedown? Back to their feet. Wing over that time by Stubbs, but he was caught coming back. So the Nightmares, the Continental Tag Team Champions, now getting things back under control. Off the rope. Caught him in the back. And obviously, these two have their strategy down. Stubbs utilizing that elbow very effectively, a lateral press. All right, the Nightmares trying to get over and tag. Caught him with a lariat coming off the rope, the Dirty White Boy. Tony Anthony is very, very effective with that one. And the Nightmare caught by Jerry Stubbs in that far corner. Continual interference like that. He's caught in those ropes. More punishment outside the ring, and now the Nightmares had better unite. They've got some problems if they don't. Coming up yet, the big special challenge steel cage match. If we have time. Vertical suplex over that top rope, back into the ring. Guinea powers out on the count of 2. Look at that double teaming. Just barely in time, too, I might point out. Well, Stubbs and the Dirty White Boy really have their strategy.
5 minutes past.
Wow, the Nightmare upended him that time. The point of the boot into the chest. And now the Nightmare is exploding on the the Dirty White Boy. Caught him coming off the rope. Beautiful drop kick again. Then a hard right hand. And he is not sparing the Fury here. He's got him, and he appears to be a sleeper hold. Referee down again. Vertical suplex. The Nightmares may have things going their way. They got a pile driver coming up. A pile driver delivered beautifully. And the second Nightmare. Ooh, caught by the Dirty White Boy. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Which way did he count? Which way did he count? Yes, the Dirty White Boy claiming a victory. Now let's see what the referee's doing here. No, sir. The Nightmares retain their title. The Nightmares retain the Continental Tag Team Championship. No question about that. Ooh. Tony Anthony, the Dirty White Boy, catches him. Jerry Stubbs over there leaving the ring area. And, well, sir, I'll tell you what. They've left it. Let's see if we can't get an official word from our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, at a time of 6 minutes, 12 seconds, your winners, the Nightmares.
The Dirty White Boy and Jerry Stubbs have joined me here at the desk before I talk to them. However, I want to turn it over to our ring announcer for this special interview.
How about it, Wildcat?
Well, you know something, Chris Von Colt, I bet after you were born, your dad spent the whole first year throwing rocks at the stork. You know, we can't seem to get it finished because either myself or you is getting disqualified. So what I'm going to ask for is let's have a Texas death where falls don't count because I want to finish it. The only way to win is for one of us not to be able to get up and answer the bell. And that, my friend, is going to be risky business.
Hey, let me tell you guys something. Just because you have one of our belts does not mean you're the champions. These people know who the Continental Tag Team Champions are, and they're standing here in the middle of the ring. Now, boys, we have to give you a return match. It was in the contract to have a return clause. Well, boys, you show up anywhere, and I guarantee you we're leaving with both belts just like we are tonight.
Back to you, Mr. Soley.
First to Chris Von Colt.
You know, Wendell Cooley, this Texas Death Match makes me happy. In my career, I've had 156 Texas Death Matches, and I've won every one. And you're the worst champion I have ever wrestled against. You ought to be arrested for trying to impersonate a champion. I got a girlfriend in Berlin, Germany that could whip you. I know, because I whip her every day. And when I have my match with you, rules are thrown out the window. It's right up my alley.
Hey,
all right.
What you see here, Gordon, is something that rightly belongs to us. Because we won, because Dirty White Boy pinned it. 1, 2, 3. Now what I got is a tag team belt. Now I wouldn't have it if he hadn't have beat him, Gordon. Now we're champions, and I want you to demand that they bring the other belt right back up here.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Mr. Soley, but this is from the promotion of Continental Championship Wrestling. Mr. Soley, they asked me to ask you to take care of it immediately.
What are you laughing at?
All right, well. Wait a minute. Dirty White Boy, Mr. Stubbs. Would you come back, please? Would you come back here? First of all, let me have that belt. Put that right back here.
That's my belt.
All of the wrestlers in Continental Championship Wrestling have been notified about new rulings in 1987. Anyone who purloins or steals a belt that does not rightfully belong to them is suspended. And according to this note from the president of Continental Championship Wrestling, you are now suspended for 30 days.
What am I supposed to do? We've got title matches signed. What am I supposed to do?
Not my problem.
He's my partner. We've got title matches signed. I can't go. Where am I going to get another partner?
That's not my problem. You are suspended.
I didn't steal no belt. You saw it right there. 1, 2, 3.
Gentlemen,
we won that thing.
that
in
is
the gown myself. 1, 2, 3 in the middle, Gordon. What am I supposed to do? I've never been suspended. You can't do
you
that.
are now. Let's go to our next match. Let's go to our next match right now, please.
Television event. It is a cage match. There is no time limit. There is no disqualification. Combined weight, 520 pounds from New Guinea, the New Guinea Headhunters. Robert Bowler, his partner from the great state of Tennessee, 270 pounds, the Tennessee Stubbs.
The New Guinea Headhunters going up against the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller in a steel cage match. No disqualification. Anything goes. And, all right, they're busy locking up that steel cage right now. And there's the Tennessee Stud as one of the New Guinea Headhunters trying to get out of the steel cage. The Tennessee Stud took care of that in quick order. So you've got all four men, and that steel cage can become an exceptionally dangerous weapon. Chain link fence surrounding the ring. And it is again the Headhunter trying to escape, and the Tennessee Stud catches him. Beautiful full power slam to the canvas now. The Stud looking strong, and Robert Fuller catching him with a hard right hand. And so the New Guinea Headhunters, and that's what I was talking about, that steel cage being used as a weapon. You saw the Stud just jam the New Guinea Headhunter into that steel cage. That can cause a lot of lacerations on the head. Kevin Sullivan, who led the Headhunters out to the ring, has joined me here at the desk.
Mr. Soley, it is my pleasure to be out with you tonight because you are one of my idols. You're one of the most intelligent people of all time. You and I have a mind that is somewhat similar. Mr. Soley, I feel very good tonight. I feel very confident what's happening here tonight, right now. The Headhunters are doing fantastic, don't you think?
Well, it looks to me like the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller are pretty much in command of things here. That steel cage, by the way, is handcuffed by one of Birmingham's finest, and so there's nobody getting out.
So you mean there's no one getting in or nobody getting out?
Precisely.
Mr. Fuller, can I ask you something? Because only you could think like I do. You know how a spider catches a fly? He makes a web, Yes. And he makes it so attractive that the fly thinks that the web can't hurt him. I think the steel cage is sort of like the spider's web that I've weaved, and you made it perfectly clear. Nobody can get in the cage through the door.
That's right. Or nobody can get out either.
Exactly. No one can get in the cage, through the door, or out of the cage. But the Headhunters are doing very well because, Mr. Shirley, you see, I thought a long time about this because on a suicide match where you have banned, because I knew you were part of the promotion here, part of the do-gooders that don't want to see people get hurt. I guarantee that people are going to go to the hospital on a suicide match. And I guarantee you this, Mr. Foley, when you see what I have planned here, you're going to look at me, and as Nietzsche once said, I am marvelous, you are marvelous. Let's not talk about our sister anymore. You see, Mr. Foley, there's something going to happen here, and I want everybody to get their TV and tune in and listen to Mr. Foley's voice real clear, because one of the most astounding things in 1986 and 87 and all the 80s is about to happen here tonight, Mr. Foley.
Well, it looks to me like the New Guinea Headhunters are about to get, Tennessee Stud in trouble and Robert Fuller in trouble, and so the New Guinea Headhunters trying to turn the tide of this battle, and perhaps the predictions of Kevin Sullivan or the Mystic one are about to come.
5 minutes past.
The New Guinea Headhunters are certainly looking in much better shape than they were just a few moments ago. They do have the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller in trouble, no question about this.
Mr. Foley, at one time I have wrestled in a cage match, and I've seen people try to pull the doors open. But as you said, the Birmingham Police Department took their own handcuffs and locked that door so no one can enter that door. Is that true?
That's very true. The handcuffs are on the door, so nobody, as I've said before, and I guess it bears repeating, nobody can get in. What are they doing? What is this?
This is my plan. Wait till you see this, Mr. Foley.
Well, yeah, but why tear up the ring? They've got opponents to wrestle.
Mr. Foley, they're taking the board. It's another Headhunter, Mr. Foley.
Are you kidding?
Headhunter number 3, Mr.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
This is absolutely insane.
Insane, Mr. Foley. I think it's brilliant, Mr. Foley. I think it's brilliant.
Wow, this is one of the most diabolical things I've ever seen. There's no way of getting any help into these men.
No way, Mr. Foley. I was up for days. I stayed up for days and nights thinking this one out, Mr. Foley.
Well, where?
There's 3 of them, Mr. Foley. Count them.
Yeah, I can count, that's for sure.
Can I ask you something? Does this mean nobody can get in the door because it's handcuffed?
That's right.
No help? There's no help for them? Those are nights I thought about this one, Mr. Foley.
This is absolutely diabolical.
Mr. Foley, can I say something? That means if his mask gets taken off and it's supposed to be Ronald Fuller, he'll be gone, Mr. Foley. I won't have to face him in any towns like Knoxville, Chattanooga, or any other towns in this country.
No, that's the country. Well, Robert Fuller now has been badly lacerated on the head, and the Tennessee Stud in trouble, and there's no question about it. We've got three Headhunters in the ring, and now that steel cage being used as a weapon, but 3 against 2 is hardly within the realm of...
Down the hole! Look at him! He's gone! He's down the hole! I thought about this night and day. I stayed up for 4 days. And I got so tired about thinking about this, Mr. Foley. There were some days that I tried to lay down some nights, and I just couldn't. My brain was working so hard, I just couldn't sleep.
Well, we've got a horrendous situation going on here in the ring. And, well,
Is that a 3 count, Mr. Foley? It's a 1, 2, 3?
That certainly appeared to be a 3 count. Yes, there was a 3 count. But let me see what's going on here. It looks to me like they're after the mask of the Tennessee Stud.
Yes, that's what
They've got the mask. Well, no, I couldn't see who it was. But we did have a 3 count. Let's Well, I don't know what to say about this. I have something to say. I say the fly landed in the spider's web. The fly landed in the spider's web. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get the official word here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winners in the time of 8 minutes, 4 seconds, the New Guinea Headhunters.
Well, this is absolutely, it's the first time in my career I've ever seen anything like this occur. And,
Mrs. Foley, if this is the first time in your career, then you have to say that this is the greatest plan you've ever seen. Give me that compliment, please. I think you're great. But this is the greatest plan you've ever seen. Have I done a wonderful job, Mrs. Foley?
I think it's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll be back.
Championship Wrestling returns to Columbus, Mississippi, Friday night, January 30th at the Lavender Coliseum. Match time is 8:30. In a special handicap tag team match, 2 men against 3, the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller face the New Guinea Headhunters and the Mystic Kevin Sullivan. In a Continental title match, the Mystic Kevin Sullivan faces the Bullet. Southeastern title, both valets return. The exotic Adrian Street against the hustler Rip Rogers. Continental tag titles, the Nightmares against Jerry Stubbs and the Dirty White Boy. There will be 2 other matches January 30th. Well, all I can say is that it has to be one of the most despicable things I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're right, good Sully. As you as the premier announcer in wrestling today, you're right. I have a brain. I can think of the greatest things of all time.
I don't even, at this point, I'll tell you what I want you to do right now. I have some previously recorded comments from the Tennessee Stud, and let's go to those right now.
Hang on, one second.
For just a moment.
I'm speaking on behalf of the Tennessee Stud, and Robert Fuller and the Tennessee Stud have had a real problem in tag matches with the New Guinea Headhunters and Kevin Sullivan, so they figured the thing to do was ask for a handicap tag match, the 2 of us against 3 gentlemen at the same time. And I say gentlemen, I use the term loosely, 3 goons. 2 goons, and Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, you know what, Kevin Sullivan, that goof, he seems to like every country in the world except the best one, the Diamond Ring Cadillac country, baby. You're running down our country and you're walking on the fighting side of the Fullers, son.
We're
ready. You that.
We're ready for a handicap tag match. The 2 of us can beat 3 of y'all, 4 of y'all, or 5 of y'all if necessary.
My only concern right now is for those men down there.
Your only concern, Mr. Soley, as you as a good doer, you're concerned about the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller. You know, they said a handicap match, 3 against 2. Well, I ain't in it. See my new headhunter, Mr. Soley? He carries around a little head, too, if you'd like to see it sometime.
The Bullet has joined me. Have you ever seen anything like that before in your life?
You know, Gordon, I've been wrestling a long time, and I've never seen a plot like that, and it had to be from a diabolical mind like Kevin Sullivan, the Mystic one. I've never seen anything like that. Robert Fuller's back there bleeding half to death. The Tennessee Stud is all banged up. But I'll tell you, if I know the Fuller boys, they just started something they better hope they can finish, because they ain't going to stand for that. I've known both of them. I've wrestled against them, with them, and they're 2 men that ain't going to settle for this. You may say the war has just started. They didn't get it over with. They just started going. I'm going to go see about Robert, if you don't mind.
Well, I can certainly understand that, and frankly, as far as I'm concerned, next week, I'd like to see these 3 headhunters in action if we could. I know one thing for sure. We've got a Texas death match coming up with Wildcat Wendell Cooley going up against Chris Von Colt. Obviously, the Bullet's going to be back with us, and perhaps we'll dig more into this mystery of the Mystic one, Kevin Sullivan. Until then, this will be Gordon Soley saying so long.